going to be my second upload today on Saturday to make up for the cutoff that happened on my previous video. So, I've been watching some videos on socialism. And then there's this one channel. It's called let me check. It's called whatever. I'm not gonna give them any free publicity, even though my publicity is not very needed since they're a channel with over 1 million subscribers. Well, this channel is socialist. They're socialist. And in the comment section of their channel, most of the people who also comment, he's a channel with over 1 million subscribers, and his videos are getting like hundreds of thousands of views, which is normal for a channel like that, which means that he's still in the running, you know? And here's the thing. I'm genetically predisposed to not like socialism. My ancestors were Chinese bourgeoisie. They were landowners in China during the warring... my family line comes from a long line of Chinese landowners, okay? And during the Communist Revolution, they stole my family's land and forced my grandfather and my grandmother to move to Taiwan, to migrate from Taiwan. So, I'm predisposed to not like socialism because socialism stole the wealth of my family. My family's heritage was stolen by the Chinese Communist Party. Although if it hadn't been stolen, I probably wouldn't be born today because my grandparents moved to America because of the whole chain of events set in motion by communism. But that still doesn't change the fact that my family legacy was wiped out by the Communist Party, Chinese Communist Party. And communism is socialism, okay? Well, socialism in the way this guy talks... socialism is not communism, but communism is socialism. Yeah? Although, here, I can direct you to some links that explain this difference much better than I can. If you don't like what I'm saying and want me to give you references, I will put references at the bottom of this. Here's the thing. The reason why I don't like using references is because no one ever looks at them. But whenever you make a big claim... Anyways, I'm getting off topic here. I'm not going to link any references, although if you want to argue with me in the comments, which you probably won't because you're watching my channel and I've only got like 300 subscribers. Anyways, so, socialism. It makes me feel like the reason why I'm making a video on my channel is because I know that if I argued with the maker of the videos in the comments section, he probably wouldn't read the comment and I'd get swarmed by thousands or hundreds or dozens of people who are pro-socialism. And the thing is, there's a really interesting video. I'll link it in the description below. It'll do a lot better of a... well, here's the thing. Yeah, I'll link the video down there. It's like a 4-hour video about why socialism and communism don't work, okay? And the maker of the video does a lot better of a job than I ever will explaining why socialism doesn't work, specifically in the context of National Socialism, which is literally Nazism. Like, the word Nazi derives from National Socialist, and the Nazis were socialists. They were not capitalist. It's all explained in the video. I'll link in the description below in this video. If you want to go watch it, it's like literally 4.5 hours long. And the guy who makes the video goes into inexhaustible detail about why socialism doesn't work, why the Nazi Party failed because of socialism's inherent incompatibility with the human species. So, and when I say human species, I mean like every human. I'm not one of those people who believes in eugenics or who believes in any racist superiority or genetic superiority. I believe that humans are so closely related that, see, the thing is that it's believed that the human race, the entire human race, descended from a small group of people. So it's believed, geneticists have traced the human race's evolution back to a single small band of people in the very like in the very recent past, evolutionarily speaking. So we all came from the same positive ancestors, and the only difference between people with darker skin and people with lighter skin is vitamin D, because in areas where there's lots of sun, people produce more melanin because they have more sun, and Rick, let me explain this. So the reason why black people are black is because they yeah, I'm not gonna cover this. This is just if you want to learn more about it, do your own research. But it's all about vitamin D and rickets. That's it. The only reason why people are different color is because in northern climates, it's harder to get vitamin D, because vitamin D is produced when solar radiation hits the skin, and melanin obstructs the absorption of solar radiation, which is good when you're living in an environment with a lot of solar radiation where you can get sunburned. If you like, melanin is literally just space shielding, like shielding of the skin from cosmic radiation. That's all it is. It's literally just like a shield that shields your skin from cosmic radiation. But the problem is that if you have too much cosmic radiation shielding in the northern climates, you don't get enough vitamin D, and so you die from rickets, which is caused by lack of vitamin D. And it is a deadly disease. You can die from rickets. You can die from a lack of vitamin D. And that's the only evolutionary pressure that created the difference in skin tones. Like it has nothing to do with what's in here, has nothing to do with what's in here, has nothing to do with anything except the production of vitamin D. That's it. Like literally, that's it. That's it. And so we have that, and I don't believe in any of that racist stuff. Like racism is bad. I believe that everyone is not cut from the same template, but deserves the same treatment under the law. All right? Now back to socialism. Back to why I don't like socialism. It's because someone's got to till the fields. Someone's got to work in the nut and bolt factory creating nuts and bolts. And under socialism, it's wrong to compensate one person more than you compensate another if they're doing the same hours of work. All right? So let's say you have a lawyer and you have a factory worker. And they both work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 40 hours. Under socialism, it would go against the grain of what socialism stands for to pay the lawyer more than the factory worker. And do you get where the problem with that is? The problem is that how much is that look, the 4.5 hour video on what I'm trying to explain here is down there. This guy has all the references. He used to be a socialist, but then he did his research and he became a apologist. Sorry. And the thing is that most socialists have good intentions, okay? Most socialists, they really want the world to be a better place. But the thing is that the world is not a good place. The world is mean. The world is mean. We humans, we seem to have forgotten that the world, the Earth, the biosphere of Earth is against humanity. The biosphere of Earth is actively fighting to destroy us because it doesn't want to, like the only reason why we are so successful as a species is because we're smart. But, and here's the thing, is that someone's got to till the fields. Someone's got to produce the bolts and nuts. Someone's got to do the hard grunt work, whether that grunt work be grunt like some lab intern at a laboratory has got to pipette 150, thousands of little tubes from one into the other, You know, like someone's got to do that. Someone's got to do the grunt work. And the thing is that you can't convince people who have everything they need handed to them to do grunt work. Like Karl Marx imagined that if everyone was given what they need by some centralized state, they would spend their time fishing or writing or doing whatever it is they wanted to do. But the thing is that the economy, not the economy, I'm not talking about the economy, the land itself cannot support a society of writers and poets. You need someone to till the land. And the thing is that there's lots of jobs that people don't want to do. And if you can't compensate them, and the thing is, the argument that the creator of these videos that espoused socialism made was that we're slaves to capitalism. Yeah? That was basically the argument that I heard. Basically, that capitalism does not mean freedom. Capitalism, we don't see. You have to watch the video to really understand. But the problem is that freedom. I can't really express myself when it comes to this, because I know that if you are already on the side of socialism, you won't really change your mind because I tried to tell you something. You won't change your mind. There's no changing minds on this subject, but it scares me because the world could, like, I don't want to be living under. I don't want America to turn into Venezuela. You know, I don't want America, because Venezuela is a failed socialist state. Venezuela attempted socialism and totally collapsed because of it. And I don't want America to become like Venezuela. I don't want America to become like Cuba. Do you know how bad it is in Cuba? Like, there's no anime in Cuba, okay? And that's the biggest thing I care about. I care about my quality of life above almost everything else. That's it. I'm candid about that. You know? Like, I care about my own quality of life. And some people may care about other things other than their quality of life. Like, other people may care about things other than their quality of life more than they care about their quality of life. But I'm not one of those people. I mean, I care about social aspects. I care about social justice, but not in the social justice. Like, I care about the justice of... I care about justice. I care about free speech. I care about all these things because they're what lead to a society where I can say what I want, do what I want, be what I want, and we're not slaves to the capitalist system. We are slaves to our bellies. We are slaves to our clothing. We're not slaves to capitalism. Capitalism isn't the one that instituted the you have to eat and you have to wear clothes of society. Capitalism didn't invent you have to eat. Capitalism didn't invent dependence on basic needs. That always has existed and always will exist. Always will exist. It's not capitalism's fault that you need to work in order to produce food or whatever it is. You need to work in order to produce value for the economy, or not the economy, for other people. If you want other people to produce value for you, you have to produce value for other people. Now, I myself am on the fringes of such a system, but I still work. I go to my work. I go to job. I help people. I provide worth and value to society so that society provides value to me. And this isn't a fallacy, but the misconception that the creator of this video said that capitalism enslaves us because we have to work and we have no other choice than to work. We have no other choice than to work for these capitalist hierarchies. Like, they said that capitalism is not freedom because we are forced to work for wages. We are forced to work for our food. And here's the thing, capitalism didn't institute the need to eat in order to produce more profit for the people who run food companies. In fact, it's the other way around. Capitalism produced more food because people worked, because the people at the top figured out ways to produce food better. Like, it's not, capitalism isn't a failure. And here's the thing. Even Karl Marx, back in 1878, said capitalism is a failure and it will fail. 150 years ago. Capitalism's been going strong for 150 years since Marx made the "oh my gosh, capitalism is going to fail" scenario. 150 years. And if something that was predicted to fail 150 years ago is still running strong, or at the very least not completely collapsed, I think the person who made the prediction is the one who's wrong. They made the prediction before the invention of the computer. They made the prediction before the invention of the automobile or the airplane. And look at what we have now. The only reason why we have what we have now is because of capitalism. And some may argue that materialistic goods are not what the material. But here's the thing. Do you know that historically communist and historically socialist states do not place an emphasis on mental health? Okay? I believe that the infrastructure, the mental health infrastructure created by capitalist countries would not exist under a socialist idealism state, because I don't know, I can't back that up. It's just a gut feeling. It's just a gut feeling that the mental health infrastructure in this capitalist world is a lot better. Well, here's the thing. Mao Zedong, the socialist leader of China, thought mental health was a delusion of the bourgeoisie. It's not. And mental health is a non-commodified service. So you can't commodify therapy. Therapy is not a commodity that can be traded on the market. Okay? Therapy can't be traded on the open market. So the very existence of therapy proves that whatever system we're using right now is probably a good one. The very existence of therapeutic businesses. Like, I'm sure it takes money to pay, but the very fact that you can use money to buy, at the very least, you can buy an attempt at making yourself happier, like legitimately making yourself happier through the purchasing power of the dollars you earn by working, that I think that refutes the idea that capitalism is all about these big pigs stomping your butt. I don't think that's what's happening. I don't think that's what's happening at all. Because if it really was about these capitalist warlords or capitalist kingpins exploiting you for whatever you're worth, then there wouldn't be. I went to school for psychology. Like, I understand more than most people that the mental health support system would not exist under communism, because it like if you were in Soviet Russia in 1975 and you had a schizophrenic breakdown, do you know what would have happened to you? Bad things. Because I think that the problem is that these people, the people who support socialism, just they want to help. I suppose their motives come from an altruistic. They're altruistic, I suppose. But the problem is that somebody has to till the fields. Somebody has to do the grunt work. It doesn't matter unless even in a hunter-gatherer society, someone has to do the grunt work. In a hunter-gatherer society, that was usually the woman. Like, when you pick, like, taro from the ground, somebody's got to pound that taro, or that root, someone's got to pound the root. Someone's got to soak the acorns, and someone's got to pound the acorns. You got to pound the acorns if you want to eat. That's it. And capitalism did not invent that. The capitalist pigs did not invent hunger in order to sell you more food. They didn't. People are always going to be greedy. If you change the government, it doesn't matter what government you change to. The government, like us, it doesn't matter who you put at the top. The thing is that not everyone is looking out for other people. And even the people that are looking out for other people, not everyone has a complete understanding of how society works and how to best utilize resources. Like, the supply and demand is the best. So, you know what? I'll summarize basically what the guy says. His name is Tick. He's a World War II historian, T-I-K, and I'll put the link in the description below. Okay? So his basic argument of why socialism doesn't work is that the value of a good or service is not objective. So under socialism, the value of a good or service is objective. It is based on a flat rate. So let's say you spend 5 hours creating something, and that object is worth X. But what happens is under the people who advocate for the creation of socialism say that if an industrialist takes that object you built, and which is worth X, and sells it for X plus 2, that plus 2, or profit, is stolen from you because you could have sold that object for X plus 2, and so therefore their logic is that that plus 2 was stolen from the person who created the object with value X. But here's the thing. The creator of that object was paid beforehand. They were said, all right, I will give you X dollars an hour or X dollars a year in order to perform this action. And the worker says yes. And under American capitalism, you can quit your job at any time. And it is possible you can quit your job at any time and go find a new one. But the problem is that if you don't provide commensurate value to society, why should society provide commensurate value to you? Because that is a negative value proposition. If everyone quit their jobs immediately, who creates value? Where does the value come from? In fact, that flips everything on its head. You are stealing from the people who are creating value. If you don't produce value that is worth the value you are given, if you don't produce X value, say you demand X value from society, and if you don't produce X value to give to society, that is a negative value proposition. That means that society will lose overall value because you are getting more value than you provide for society. And that means that if everyone does this, no one is producing value anymore. No one is creating value, and so there is less value overall, and so everyone suffers. That is why socialism doesn't work, is because, and the thing is that these workers are not being exploited under modern American capitalism, okay? There's stuff like OSHA, okay? There's the Occupational Safety and Hazard Administration. They make sure that you are not exploited. You can join a union. You are not exploited. I mean, sometimes ununionized workers, sure, there is exploitation that goes on. I am not denying the existence of exploitation of workers by corporations. I'm just saying that under modern American capitalism, the vast majority of workers can quit whenever they want and go do something else. But the problem is that value is not free. Value is created by someone else. Someone else created that value, and if you don't give them value, the same amount of value that they gave to you, there's a negative value proposition. And so that's why socialism doesn't work. And the thing is that these workers are paid. You are paid to do a job. That does not, so if you pay a worker to roof your house, does the worker you paid to roof your house own the roof of your house? Think about that for a minute. Exactly, they don't. And that's what a factory owner pays their employees. The employees do not own the products they produce in the factory because they are paid to do a single job. And that job usually does not involve creating everything. If you really want to own the objects you produce, start your own business. Become a capitalist. That is exactly what a capitalist is. Anyone who starts their own business under their own power is a capitalist. Anyone who starts their own business. It doesn't matter how big your business is. It doesn't matter if you're like whittling figures of like if you're whittling figures and selling them online. You are a capitalist. You are utilizing capital that you have, even if it's a whittling knife and some wood and an internet connection. You are utilizing your capital in order to produce profit. And here's the thing. What if you're whittling all these figures and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, there's too many figures for me to whittle. Everyone wants to buy these figures, you know? You hire people to whittle figures for you, or to procure wood for you, or to sharpen your knives. And these guys work under you. You pay these people to do a job, and that job does not entitle them to the products of the job. So like the person who sharpens your knives does not own your knives or even the sharpness of the knives. And finally, the final argument I have against socialism is that you really can own the means of production. Buy a stock. If you want to own the means of production, buy stocks. That literally means you own a piece of the company that produces whatever the company produces. If you want to own the means of production, buy stock. Ta-da! You own a piece of the company. You own a piece of the means of production automatically by buying a stock. And your fortunes are tied to the fortunes of that company. You know? Exactly. And I'll link the video on socialism down below. I just had to rant, dude. I'm sorry. Whatever. Anyways. I hope you enjoyed this second video on Saturday. I was ranting the whole time. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later. Oh, and also the video I was talking about is in the description below. Bye-bye.